As far as this week is concerned, and before we get started, I want to bring something up. When we talk about dark horses and when we talk about fool's gold players, Jacob, I hope you can agree with me because we've never really talked about this. Yes, can we hit in an ideal world? We can hit on these players every single week. But in reality, they're not called surefire starts of the week because then we're talking about guys like Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. We're not talking about these guys. We're talking about guys that you have legitimate concerns about or legitimate questions about heading into your week's matchups. So we can get the ball rolling. So when I think about it, I don't think about, I have to get a 9 out of 10 on a spelling test because Stephen Joe, I'm applying to a fellow educator here, relating that way. I think about it as a baseball average. Everybody looks at a baseball average and says, wow, he's hitting 347. That's right. You're hitting the ball 3.5 times out of every 10 times you come to the plate. Does that sound good when you say it? No, but it's a good batting average. So for us, when we make these picks, because we've been getting a lot of heat on them, but then we also get praise for the ones we get. You know what? The hate is always so much louder than the praise. Right, Jacob?
Yes, it is. It always is.
And with that being said, that's kind of the approach we take to these. We want to get them right. We do the research to ensure that we think we're going to get them right. But when we aim amongst stars, sometimes we fall amongst the clouds. Okay. So
wow.
As far as on the year, I am 3 for 4. And Jacob is 2 for 4. So it's not bad on dark horses. Let's go ahead and move on to my dark horse this time around in week 5. And that is wide receiver, another wide receiver, except this one plays for the New England Patriots, and that's Jakobi Meyers. Listen, he hasn't played the last 2 weeks. He's been out with injuries. He was able to get in limited practices all last week before showing up with the big IA inactive. This week, he started with a limited practice. I'm hoping if that trend continues, so this dark horse is technically contingent on if he plays or not, but signs are pointing like he's going to be making a return to the field this week. I love the matchup against the Detroit Lions. They've been proven to beat up. They've been proven to get. Anyways, they're very vulnerable through the air. I should probably just change up my language, huh? They're vulnerable through the air, and that's a perfect matchup for a guy like Jakobi Meyers. And I know what you might be thinking. Well, Mac Jones is hurt. He's not going to be playing. Sure. I know what you also might be thinking. Well, Brian Hoyer might still be in concussion protocol. What are you saying? I know. I understand that. And you also might be saying, they're starting a third-string quarterback in Ben Zappe. That's lunatic. I understand what you are saying. If Jakobi Meyers plays this week, I do believe that he jumps right back into the fold, psimilar to what Godwin did this past week against Kansas City and Tampa Bay. But I think he sees the targets. I think he gets the workload. His role as a wide receiver has changed so much since he has come into the league, and I've watched his game highlights over the first 2 weeks of the season, and I've just watched how they've moved him around, how he's been able to go underneath, through the middle, and even down deep. And I think guys that are versatile like that, they find use and they get used quickly. So with that being said, I love Jakobi. I got laughter in the background because I think I'm working on it. Okay. I didn't say I'm a perfect linguist. I work on these things, but because of those reasons and those reasons alone, that's why Jakobi Meyers is a guy that I like this week heading into Detroit, a team that's vulnerable through the air, even with a guy like Ben Zappe, who held his own through 2 quarters against Aaron Rodgers, and they had to go to overtime to win that game. So I am Team Zappe all the way if he's starting. And I look at it as Brian Hoyer is an upgrade. And if Mac Jones is back, which he's probably not likely to be, then I like all 3 of them. Jakobi Meyers is a guy that I am looking to start this week against the Detroit Lions.